In a stark departure from royal tradition, Prince Harry has increasingly found himself battling the British establishment through legal channels rather than palace corridors. His current high court case against Associated Newspapers, jointly pursued with figures including Elton John and Elizabeth Hurley, accuses the publisher of unlawful information gathering practices. This legal offensive represents a continuation of Harry's long-standing conflict with British media, which he cites as a primary reason for leaving the UK. The security litigation has been particularly painful. Harry described feeling devastated after losing an appeal over his UK security arrangements, calling it a good old-fashioned establishment stitch-up, and blaming the royal household for influencing the decision. His sense of betrayal is evident. Everybody knew that they were putting us at risk in 2020, and they hoped that me knowing that risk would force us to come back. This legal battle has become inextricably linked with family dynamics, with Harry claiming the king won't speak to me because of this security stuff. These court appearances often emphasize Harry's isolation. His January 2016 London visit for the High Court case reportedly involves no family reunions. While he's in court, senior royals including Prince William, Kate Middleton, and King Charles will be in Scotland for separate engagements. Royal expert Ian Pelham-Turner notes, in 2016, the rift between the two brothers is still simmering away, while Richard Fitzwilliams observes that William reportedly hasn't spoken to his brother since 2020. The psychological toll of these legal battles extends beyond Harry. Trauma expert Dr. Gabor Mate, who interviewed Harry in 2023, expressed regret about their conversation being placed behind the paywall, noting the incredible social media and British media reaction was, for the most part, so negative and so demeaning. Mate confessed the experience left him in a negative state of mind, ultimately realizing what bothered him most was not being seen, a sentiment that likely resonates with Harry's own experience of media portrayal. Despite physical distance and public disputes, Harry continues to express hope for family reconciliation. In a May 2025 BBC interview, he stated, "I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore. I don't know how much longer my father has." This plea reflects both emotional longing and awareness of mortality. Yet, the path to reconciliation remains obstructed by mistrust and conflicting priorities. The September 2025 meeting between Harry and King Charles, their first face-to-face encounter in 18 months, offered brief hope. Lasting approximately 50 minutes at Clarence House, it was seen as a major step toward reconciliation. However, subsequent reports indicate Harry has not spoken to his father since, and is not in contact with the Prince and Princess of Wales. A source called suggestions of ongoing communication laughable, highlighting the fragility of any progress. Fundamental disagreements about security continue to impede reconciliation. Harry frames the issue in stark terms. Whether you're the government, the royal household, whether you're my dad, my family, despite all of our differences, do you not want to just ensure our safety? From the palace perspective, Buckingham Palace maintains that all of these issues have been examined repeatedly and meticulously by the courts, with the same conclusion reached on each occasion. This bureaucratic language contrasts sharply with Harry's emotional appeal, revealing different paradigms for addressing conflict. Anderson suggests Harry holds hope that he can eventually divide his time between California and the UK, envisioning a half-in, half-out arrangement that would allow him to be both part-time royal and part-time American family man. However, reports suggest Meghan is not very keen, to say the least, because she wants all-American future for her and her husband, creating potential marital tension around this vision. The future of Harry's family relationships thus remains uncertain, caught between his British roots and American present. Prince Harry's journey offers more than tabloid fodder. It provides a case study in navigating profound personal transformation under public scrutiny. His experiences distill into valuable life lessons that transcend royal status, as explored in Medium articles highlighting how his journey can inspire us to navigate grief, trauma, and personal growth. These lessons include recognizing that mental health matters, understanding that grief is a process, and realizing that vulnerability is a strength. Harry's story particularly illuminates the tension between authenticity and tradition. His decision to step away from his royal duties and pursue a more independent life has shown us the importance of being true to ourselves. This authenticity comes at significant cost, including family estrangement and public criticism. Yet, it models the possibility of rewriting one's narrative despite overwhelming expectations. The Invictus games exemplify how Harry has channeled personal struggle into service, another key lesson identified as service is a calling. Through this foundation, he demonstrates that trauma can be transformative and that change is possible even in the face of great challenges. These principles manifest in his public speaking, where he encourages others to share their stories and seek help. Perhaps Harry's most significant legacy will be his contribution to destigmatizing mental health conversations. By sharing his experiences with therapy and emotional struggle, he challenges the stiff upper lip tradition that shaped his family for generations. Prince William has praised this shift, noting that no one should keep a stiff upper lip at the expense of their own well-being. Together, the brothers represent a new royal approach to emotional openness, with William emphasizing that he and Kate want their children to grow up feeling able to talk about their emotions and feelings. Prince Harry's heartbreaking update reveals not a man broken by his struggles, but one continually navigating the complex terrain between past and present, duty and freedom, tradition and authenticity. His journey from spare to soldier, from party prince to mental health advocate, from royal insider to California father reflects both profound dislocation and courageous self-determination. The pain evident in Harry's story, the grief over his mother, the estrangement from family, the struggle to find purpose outside royal structures is balanced by moments of profound meaning, his dedication to fatherhood, his commitment to the Invictus community, his advocacy for mental health awareness. These dualities define his current chapter, offering no simple resolution, but rather an ongoing negotiation between competing truths. As Harry returns to London courtrooms while his family remains elsewhere, as he speaks of reconciliation while preparing for more legal battles, as he embraces California life while mourning lost heritage, he embodies the complexities of modern identity. His story continues to unfold, a reminder that even princes cannot escape the human struggles of grief, belonging, and purpose. What emerges is not a fairy tale conclusion, but a more authentic narrative of a man learning, publicly and painfully, to build a meaningful life on his own terms, carrying both the privileges and burdens of a name he can never fully escape. Prince Harry, once the beloved spare to the British throne's heir, now stands at the center of a modern royal tragedy that continues to unfold across two continents. In an era where privacy seems an impossible luxury for royalty, Harry has shattered centuries of protocol by sharing his most intimate struggles, revealing a man caught between the traditions of his birth and the freedoms of his choosing. This article explores the heartbreaking journey of a prince who fled one gilded cage only to find himself navigating new forms of confinement in the California sunshine, all while wrestling with a profound sense of loss, dislocation, and the unhealed wounds of childhood trauma. From Montecito mansions to British courtrooms, Harry's path has been anything but straightforward. At 41, he finds himself balancing fatherhood with legal battles, Hollywood aspirations with military foundations, and the echoes of royal heritage with the realities of self-made identity. His story offers a poignant examination of what happens when centuries of tradition collide with modern sensibilities about mental health, authenticity, and personal freedom. This extensive piece explores the multifaceted struggle of a man trying to write his own story while being constantly defined by the family he left behind. When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle announced their decision to step back from royal duties in 2020, the world watched with a mixture of shock and admiration. They traded palace protocol for California casual, seeking what Harry described as a private world, away from the constraints and scrutiny of royal life. Yet this seemingly idyllic escape has proven more complex than anticipated. Recent reports suggest Harry is struggling more than Meghan Markle with life in Hollywood, experiencing crippling social anxiety in an environment where his wife reportedly thrives. Biographer Christopher Anderson notes that Harry feels somewhat uneasy with constant public attention, a sentiment that seems paradoxical given his lifetime in the spotlight. This discomfort reveals a crucial distinction. The royal spotlight follows predetermined patterns and protocols, while the Hollywood glare is unpredictable and commercial. One source close to the couple offered a counter-narrative, suggesting Harry is so happy living in the private world and feels more like himself here than he ever did within palace walls. This tension between external perceptions and internal experience forms the core of Harry's California dilemma. The structural shift has been particularly challenging. Anderson argues that Harry, a former Army officer who served for 10 years, thrived under the structure, honor, and duty of military and royal life, elements he believes are missing from his current Montecito existence. The loss of his honorary military titles after stepping back from royal duties reportedly constituted one of the most difficult moments for him. In contrast, Meghan has embraced their new life, building her media and lifestyle ventures while reportedly becoming the family's breadwinner, as Harry focuses on being a hands-on dad. Beneath the surface of Harry's current struggles lies a decades-long battle with unresolved grief and trauma. In a remarkably candid 2017 interview, Harry revealed he had been very close to total breakdown on numerous occasions and disclosed that he had completely blocked his emotions for years following his mother's death when he was just 12. This emotional suppression reflects the royal family's famous stiff upper lip tradition, the never explain, never complain ethos that shaped generations of Windsors. Harry described a devastating realization. I thought that thinking of her was only going to make me sad and not going to bring her back. So from an emotional side, I was like, right, don't ever let your emotions be part of anything. This coping mechanism had consequences. Throughout his 20s, Harry earned the nickname Crazy Harry for a series of controversial incidents including smoking pot, getting wild at drunken parties, attending a costume ball in a Nazi uniform, and other headline-generating behaviors. Looking back, he recognizes these as manifestations of unprocessed pain. I started to have a few conversations, and actually, all of a sudden, all of this grief that I have never processed started to come to the forefront. Harry's healing began with therapy and the support of his brother William, who he says has been an enormous support. This journey from emotional suppression to vocal advocacy represents a radical departure from royal tradition, placing Harry at the forefront of mental health discourse. His work with the Heads Together charity, alongside William and Kate, aimed to end the stigma around mental health problems, continuing the legacy of openness his mother began when she discussed her eating disorders and marital struggles. Prince Harry's life in California represents more than a change of address. It symbolizes a profound identity shift that continues to challenge him. Reports suggest he's experiencing marital friction with Meghan, due to his alleged disappointment with American life and desire to spend more time in Britain. Talk TV host Kevin O'Sullivan summarized, Harry has become very disappointed and disillusioned with his life in America. He feels he has no real sense of purpose in America, and there is nothing for him to do there. This crisis of purpose contrasts sharply with Harry's structured royal past. As one observer noted, he had this crazy schedule and would come back through the palace gates and couldn't go out or have a personal life. Yet that structure provided clear identity markers: prince, soldier, royal representative. In California, these markers have blurred. Royal historian Marlene Koenig observes that, while Meghan builds a lifestyle and media empire, Harry is primarily spending time with his young children and being a hands-on dad. Perhaps most poignantly, Harry grieves a disconnection his children face from their royal heritage. He told the BBC, "The things that my kids are going to miss is, well, everything. I love my country. I always have done. And I think that it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show my children my homeland." Anderson echoes this sentiment. Neither he nor his children are sharing in their royal heritage. This loss extends beyond geography to encompass tradition, history, and familial continuity. Yet, Harry's relationship with his homeland remains complicated by security concerns and family estrangement. After losing a legal challenge over UK security arrangements, he stated, "I can't see a world in which I would bring my wife and children back to the UK at this point." This painful reality creates what one might call a heritage homelessness, where neither his past nor present location feels fully like home. Amidst these challenges, the Invictus Games have emerged as what Anderson calls a lifeline for Harry. Founded in 2014 as a sporting event for wounded, injured, and sick service personnel, the Games represent a synthesis of Harry's core identities: military service, charitable work, and advocacy. They provide a vital connection to the structure, honor, and duty that characterized his military career, filling the void left when his honorary military titles were stripped. During a November 2025 speech in Canada promoting the Invictus Games, Harry demonstrated both his commitment to this cause and his evolving approach to mental health advocacy. He asked a crowd of young students, "How many of you have felt struggles yourself and had to deal with it yourself without the help of family and friends?" before assuring them, "It's important to know that when things get so hard, there's always a way back." This message of resilience reflects Harry's personal journey while serving others. Harry's emotional connection to the Invictus community is palpable. During the same Canadian appearance, he shared, "Meeting the kids today, seeing them learn about the Invictus Games has had a profound impact on me." He encouraged the audience to imagine what it's like for these individuals, for the challenges that they have overcome, emphasizing that the athletes' stories are not a sad story, it's a very inspiring story. Through Invictus, Harry has found a purpose that transcends royal titles, a community where service, rather than birthright, defines value. This platform also allows Harry to address contemporary issues like social media's impact on mental health. At the Canadian event, he noted its double-edged sword nature, observing, "When everyone starts sharing their story, you realize we're not that different." This perspective reflects his broader advocacy for vulnerability as strength, a lesson drawn from his therapeutic journey.